Hi, hope you're ready. So let's get started today. So we'll take interview questions based on concepts regarding directives. So I hope you're aware about directives in Angular, right? Yeah. So can you please let me know what is a directive and what they are used for? So directive is a important feature in Angular. So it helps us to manipulate the document object model DOM. So you can change the appearance, behavior, or layout of a DOM element using these directives. Okay. So can you please let me know, are there any different types of directives in Angular? Yeah, so in Angular we have like three types of directive. One is the component directive, and the second one is the structural directive, and the third one is the attribute directive. Okay, so can you please explain in bit detail? Yeah, sure. So component directive, so basically component, the basic building block of Angular. So it is also a directive, but it has a template within that. So that is the speciality for the component directive. So it is having it is a directive with a template. And then we have the structural directives. So structural directives actually change the DOM layout. The document object model layout would be changed using the structural directive. So it either adds or removes the DOM elements. So some of the basic examples are ng if, ng for, ng switch. So all those are like structural directives. They will be actually adding or removing the DOM layout, and we will be representing the structural directive using an asterisk symbol. Okay, and then we have the attribute directives. So basically in the attribute directive, so these directives are used to change the appearance or behavior of an element. Some of the examples that we use in our daily usage in Angular, it is ng model, which is actually the two-way binding, and then we have the ng class, and then we have the ng style. So ng class, actually it will be it is used to add or remove the class CSS classes from an HTML element. Similarly, for adding the style properties, then we can use the ng style. Okay, yeah, it's great. So can you please, as the code is open here, right? So can you please show how we can achieve the different types of directive? Okay, so you can see here, right? As I mentioned, so component is a directive. So as we have already created component, so this is a directive. So in this, each directive will be having a selector, and there will be style. But so for the component directive, we will be having the template URL. So and if we want to refer this particular component in other component HTML, so then we will be using this selector. So same is the case with the directive. So if you want to use the directive in any other area, then you have to refer it to the selector. So this is regarding the component directive. Now I will be showing you regarding the structural directive. So for showing the structural directive, I have two variables. So one is the eShow. It is a Boolean variable, and it is initialized as true. And I have a data. So data, I have JSON data. So it is having first name and last name. I have a 3 sets of data, and I have in the HTML I have created a show height button. So it is like a toggle button. So once the user clicks on the change show, so the eShow value will be toggled between true and false. So this is a basic HTML. Now I will be showing how the structural directive would be implemented in this particular component. So for that, so I have the eShow variable. So I will be creating a div. So this div will be visible only based on the eShow variable. So for that, I will be using the ng if structural directive. So if it is true, then I will be showing this particular section. So inside this particular section, what I will do is I will create another div for implementing the ng4. So how ng4 is implemented is, so as I mentioned, so there will be an asterisk symbol and ng4. Then if you want to implement the data, so let dat of data. So data is the variable that is storing the data. So I will be referring to that. so I will be creating an ng4 on that particular data. So I will be having in this dat all the details would be available. So dat dot first name, and then the hyphen I will be putting. So this is basically doing an interpolation with the TypeScript data. So this has to match with that JSON property. So, okay, so now you can see here all the sets of data, 3 sets of data is already populated here over here. So here actually I will be providing a value saying that so there will be P, so data would be shown based on is show value. So okay, so now you can see here yeah, so this particular section would be shown only when the isShow value is true. So now I have already created one button. So in this button actually I will be toggling the value of the isShow value. So as soon as I click the value, click the button, so isShow will be changed to false. So then this particular section would not be visible because we are actually using the ng if for that. So it is actually it will be actually hiding that particular DOM. So we can test that out. So if I click on that, so that particular DOM tree has been removed because of the use of ng if. So if I click again, then again the DOM will be created. So this is how the stressor directive would be implemented. Okay, yeah, that's great. Okay, so now we have attribute directive. Okay, so for explaining about attribute directive, so I have a color section. Okay, colors data is there. I have two color of red and green, and similar to that I have two CSS classes for showing red and green. Okay, so now what we will do is we will be seeing how the attribute directive can be implemented. So for that I have a data. Okay, so I have a colors data, so it will be having two values, color red and color green, and similarly I have a CSS red color and green color. So what I will do is I will be using two attribute directives. One is the ng class and one is the ng style. So for that for implementing that, so I will be first iterating through the colors data. So for that I will be using the structural directive ng4. Okay, so let call of colors. So in this call I will be having that colors value. Okay, so this is in one div. So now call is holding the colors value, right? So I will be creating another div, okay, where I will be providing the ng style attribute directive. So we will be providing in this way. In this one actually I will be saying that I want to make the background color. Okay, so I have to provide the particular style that I am looking for. Okay, so based on which value, so it is actually looking for which value. So one is I am having that if call dot color is there, then call dot color. Okay, else by default red. Okay, so now okay, so by default red. Okay, this also should be one line. Okay, now I will be closing this div. Okay, so here I will be providing call dot color. Okay, so you can see here, so based on the ng style, so for the red color has appeared, and because it will be taking that particular color. Okay, call dot color, so it will be taking the red, and if it is green it will take the green. Okay, so this is the way we will be implementing the ng style. So similar to that we can implement the ng class as well. Okay, so here we will be saying so I have just copy pasted that. So instead of this ng style we will be providing ng class. So here the only difference is that we have to provide the class, the corresponding class. So red color, so I am having that as red color, so it is red hyphen color Okay, so this is red hyphen color. So based on if call dot color equal to red. Okay, so that has become red. Okay, and one more condition I can put. Okay, so I think we have to put it over here itself. Okay, so now it should work. Okay, so I didn't mention to provide green over here. Okay, so it has to take the green color. Yeah, so this is the way you can actually put a break over here. So I just mistyped that one. Okay, so then yeah, you can see here. So this is the way I will be implementing ng style in the ng class. So yeah, so this is the attribute directive. So we have covered all the component directives, structure directive and attribute directive. Apart from that, we can create custom directive. Okay, yeah, that's great. So you are aware about custom directive as well, right? Okay, so what I will do is I will be wrapping up this directive interview session for today. So we will be covering more advanced directive like host, listener, and there are many advanced concepts in directives. So that will be covering in another session. So it was great. Thanks for your time. All the best.